Hi, I'm Rachel from Jimmy Bean's Wool, and today we're going to go over everything you need to know about block 11 of the Cascade Yarns Knitterati Gradient Lapgan. So this block is created using cables and seed stitch texture in between the cables. So you can see there's 5 cables across here, and then they're separated by the seed stitch in the middle. And seed stitch is a really super simple stitch. I think we've done it a couple times in previous squares. It's basically just constructed with knits and purls. You knit them on one side, purl them on the other side, and it creates this nice nubby fabric in between your cables, and it really allows your cables to stand out nicely. So we don't need to go over how to do that because it's just your basic knits and purls, but I am going to show you how to do the 4x4 crossing left cross here for the cables. And then there's also a neat little technique in the beginning. Let me see if I can show you here. Where you cast on a fewer number of stitches and then you increase in the first row to get to the actual number of stitches that you need. You can't really see it here, but the reason you would want to do that is to keep the square from flaring out too much, because you got to sew these pieces together in the end, so you want it to be a nice even square. And sometimes with stitches like this, it can cause a little bit of flaring where you've cast on. So it's a really neat technique that this designer has done to combat that. So let me show you how that is going to work. Okay, so here's my little swatch here. And you do need a cable needle for the cable stitch, but I'll show you the increase first. So like I said, you're gonna cast on a fewer number of stitches than what you actually need in order to complete the square. And once you've done that, in the very first row, you're gonna do the setup, which is where you actually do the increase that I was talking about. And it is a make one purl. And in order to do that, you're gonna take your left needle and you're going to go underneath the bar between the 2 stitches on the right and left needle and pick it up. Let me see if I can pull this a little closer, you can see what I'm talking about. So there's a bar in between the left needle and the right needle, in between those 2 stitches, right there. And you're gonna just take your left needle and you're gonna come from behind and pick it up and put it onto your left needle. Now once you've done that, make sure your working yarn is in the purl position, and then just insert your right needle into the stitch as if to purl like you normally would. And go ahead and purl that stitch right off the needle. And what that does is it increases and it creates a purl, increase that looks like a purl. So it'll blend right into your seed stitch at the beginning of your square there. So that's how you're gonna do the increases and why you're doing an increase, in case you're wondering why you would in a square piece like that. The other thing you're going to be doing here is an 8 stitch left cable, which uses 4 stitches held to the front, and then you knit 4 stitches, and then you knit the 4 stitches that are on the cable needle. So let me show you how I'm going to do that. I'm going to slip 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and 4, like that. Put them on your cable needle and hold it to the front of your work, and then come back with your right needle and knit the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then finally, you've got these 4 stitches that have been hanging out on your cable needle there. You're going to come back and knit those onto the right needle right off of that cable needle. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you repeat that across the square, of course. So there you go. That is all the stitches that you need to know in order to complete this block. Thanks so much for knitting along with me. Be sure and check back in 3 weeks for the next block of the Cascade Yarns Knitterati Gradient Lapgan.